Live from Patrick Gymnasium on the campus of Metairie Park Country Day School in Old Metairie. Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you Louisiana high school basketball. Tonight we got a good non-district matchup as the Hahnville Tigers head over from the River Parishes to take on the Country Day Cajuns. Hi again, everybody. Lenny Van Gilder, pleased to be joined by Bill Gallagher tonight. Chip Merritt, our producer. Matt Merritt on camera. We've got Dan Kane, our associate producer, with us this evening for what should be an intriguing matchup. It's late in the year, 2 weeks away from, or 13 days away from Bracket Monday in LHSA boys basketball. So a good non-district matchup for this late in the season, Bill, between two teams hoping to be playing into March at some point.
Well, yeah, you got a lot of sidebars to this game, and like you said, one of them is playing a non-district game this late in the season. Country Day plays nothing but non-district games. They don't play a district schedule. They have a district tournament at the end. So Coach Mike McGuire is always looking to play a really tough schedule. He has no patsies on his schedule whatsoever, and he certainly doesn't have one tonight with Hahnville, who is just having a really fine season so far.
Well, you mentioned the fact, non-district, we're late in the season, and obviously this game could play an important role as it relates to power rankings and, helping to build up those numbers, which seeds the bracket for 13 days from now. We start looking at Division I non-select, where you'll see Hahnville on there at number 12 right now, and that's, ironically enough, that's where they finished a year ago. But they've got some big games here down the stretch, starting here tonight with a chance to make some movement in these power rankings. You see Zachary on top. Ponchatoula, a team we saw a couple of weeks ago at number 2 and the defending champions in Division I non-select. Slidell locally here, you look at those teams. Slidell at 6, H.L. Bourgeois at 8, Mandeville 13, East St. John at 14. So that's kind of the local flavor in what would be the top half. You see at the bottom, the top 28 qualify for the playoffs. Top 4 get byes, but the reason we show you 16, 5 through 16 get first-round home games. So if you're Hahnville, you're trying to stay in the top 16 to make sure you get a first-round home game. And who knows, maybe a late-season run might creep them up towards that 8 line, which could be maybe a second-round home game as well.
Well, barring a complete collapse, I think they're pretty safe in the 16. I mean, things can happen, but they're in good shape right now. They've got 2 really big games ahead, or at least one big game ahead of them. They've got that H.L. Bourgeois district game, 8-1. That's potentially for the district championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming up Thursday.
Thursday night, H.L. Bourgeois sits at 8-1 in District 6-5A. Hahnville is at 7-2, 1 game back. So that gives you an idea of kind of where they stack up. Hahnville a year ago, we mentioned a number 12 seed. They won in the first round, lost in the second round to Ouachita Parish. And that's how their season ended. As we flip the script to Division III Select, and you see that Country Day stands at that number 8 spot. Now, it's a 2014 bracket on the Select side, so the top 8 get first-round byes. So if you're Country Day and you can hold on to that 8 spot, now you're not only at home in that second game, but you've got a first-round bye as well. And their schedule down the stretch is very challenging, Bill. You start with tonight, and then Friday at home they've got St. Martin's. Monday at home against Slidell, a team we just saw on the Division I Select side. And then their district tournament. It's a very good district, as you'll see 2 of the teams up in front of them in the Select rankings. Newman at number 1, St. Charles Catholic at number 5, all part of their league. So they've got the potential of playing some really good teams in that tournament. In fact, they'll open with St. Charles Catholic in the first round. So a chance for them to move up. Who knows? They could maybe even get as high as, say, number 4, where now all of a sudden, not only are you at home in the second round, but you could be at home in the quarterfinals, and the road to getting to Lake Charles could come right through Patrick Gymnasium.
It's a tough road for Country Day to move up. I mean, it's what their schedule is what it is. They play these tough teams. Newman's ranked number 1. St. Charles is number 5. St. Martin's is number 2 in Division 4 Select. So none of these games are going to be a gimme for Country Day, whether they're on the road or whether they're playing them at home. So it's really going to be tough for them to move up, but it's certainly within the realm of possibility.
Well, and the other thing with a game like tonight against Hahnville, we mentioned the Slidell game coming up the day before Mardi Gras. playing 5A teams, they're getting those bonus points as well for playing up in classification, which is certainly a factor. Teams warming up as we get set for this one tonight. One of the other intriguing storylines of this one is the two benches. You've got a veteran coach in Mike McGuire, Country Day, who's won 5 state championships here at Country Day in his career. But then on the Hahnville side, you've got a first-year coach in Erica Randolph, and never before in the state of Louisiana has a female coached a Class 5A boys basketball team. And, talking to her a little bit pregame, it's not something that phases her at all. And gauging by some of the responses of the young men who are playing for her, it doesn't faze them at all either. And obviously, you can see by the results they've had thus far this year at 18-9, 7-2 in district on a 4-game winning streak. The results back it up.
Yeah, I think it's obvious by the record, and as you said, talking to some of the kids on the team, that there's no difference there between male or female or whatever. That's over. I mean, it's still news, but as far as how they react to it, how she reacts to it, how her team reacts to it, that's over. It's ball. It's time to play ball.
And let's face it, it is basketball. It's
right.
Now the game is the game, and what's interesting, and Les East from Crescent City Sports is here tonight as well. But what's very interesting as it relates to this, she's only coached boys basketball.
Right. I was going to say she was an assistant coach.
Right. She was an assistant coach at Hahnville.
So it's not like she's foreign.
Right. But she's not been a girls basketball coach. So you think at some point she transitioned? No, she just started being a boys basketball coach.
So the speed of the game, the length, that you may have a little more length in the boys game than you do in the girls. None of that is a problem anymore.
So teams heading back to their benches. We get set for basketball on this Tuesday night from Old Metairie, Hahnville and Country Day. It should be a dandy. These two teams have met fairly regularly in non-district. I believe it's 6th year in a row they're playing. And Country Day won a year ago as well. So, this is a series that this is not something new. These two teams have faced off in the past, and you see that. That's not uncommon, especially in this area. You develop relationship with certain programs, and that's who you're looking to play, and people you like to play, and people you are familiar with, and especially like you said in Country Day situation. This is not the first year that they're not playing a district schedule. So we'll go down for
versus the Hahnville Tigers.
The introduction of tonight's starting lineups.
A senior, number 0, Lamont Simmons.
Lamont Simmons, 5'11", point guard on this team.
Jordan Moore,
the leading scorer for this Hahnville team at 21 a game.
Junior, number 3, Eli Hams.
Elijah Harris,
number 5,
the 3-point shooter on this team, a junior guard. Calvin Smith averages a double-double on the season.
number 11, Jamal Moore.
And Jamal Moore, the 6'3" junior forward. This team starts 3 juniors and 2 seniors.
For your Country Day Cajuns.
Now the Country Day lineup.
At 6'3", number 21,
Kellen K.D. Brewer, the freshman guard, with 23 points on Friday night against Carr. Brennan White, a sophomore guard who can certainly shoot the basketball.
Number 3,
Herman Dyson, also a sophomore. So a young lineup, which is actually one senior starter tonight. Now Nelson, a junior guard.
A senior, number 25, Casey Rizzi. Cajuns coached by Mike McGuire, assisted by
And Casey Rizzi is the only senior in the starting lineup for Country Day. Last name sounds familiar, Rizzi. His father, Darren, the special teams coach for the Saints. So lineups have been introduced, and we are set for basketball. Country Day will be moving to your right in the first half. Hahnville to your left. It will be Dyson jumping against Jordan Moore, who plays guard but is 6'4". The leading scorer on this team at 21 a game. He is headed to the Louisiana High School Coaches Association All-Star Game next month.
That's always a fun event.
Set for basketball. Off we go on this Tuesday night. Country Day will control the tip. And KD Brown, freshman, will operate from up top. Dyson looks to drive, kicks it out. Rizzi rims out the jumper. Hahnville's first possession of the night. Simmons now up top to Jordan Moore. Left corner Harris. Not much room to operate there. Now they get into the middle and then inside. Can't control, and it's lost out of bounds. So Moore commits the first turnover of the night for Hahnville. And Country Day will control. A little bit under a minute gone by in this. Slapped and it will stay with the Cajuns. Apologize for some of the video difficulties here early on. We're working to resolve those. Rizzi will take the inbounds pass. Inside, nice look by White to find Dyson and the first 2 points of the game. Dyson, a 6'2" sophomore.
White had the open shot, passed it up, got the better shot for Dyson in the paint. Country Day playing his own.
Drive inside, knocked away, controlled again, back up, won't go, but a whistle late, and Calvin Smith is going to head to the line after the foul by Andrew Nelson, his first and the first team foul. Calvin Smith just 5'10", but we mentioned he averages a double-double on the season, so he's ferocious on the boards, gets inside, and you can see he's a thick guy.
Yeah, if you're that size and you're averaging 10 rebounds, you're working hard, working on your positioning, blocking out.
Second of 2 for Smith. Missed them both, and it's controlled by KD Brewer. Nelson. Out of Rizzi. Three-pointer left wing from Brennan White won't go. And the rebound controlled by Hahnville. Three-pointer left wing, in and out for Jordan Moore. And the other way. Three-pointer top of the key will not go. A little sloppy at both ends. Now controlled, and it will be a blocking foul called. And that's going to be the second foul on Nelson.
Foul number 4, Andrew Nelson, his first.
Well, they say it's first.
Tigers at the line for 2.
First free throw is good by Moore. So Hahnville is on the board, 2 minutes gone by.
As you said, Lenny, it's a little sloppy early on. Ball handling is a little bit left to be desired. A lot of loose balls.
Yep, tied at 2. It's gone here in the first quarter. Three-pointer left wing will not go. Great pass off the rebound. A terrific pass by Dyson to find Rizzi for the bucket, and Country Day regains the lead at 4-2.
Like playing taps in your backyard, that old game.
Mm-hmm.
Country Day's coming out on the perimeter, trying to guard that perimeter against Tigers.
And we'll get a foul here. It's Brennan White, got the hand in there, his first. It's already 3 team fouls on Country Day. Great pass inside. The bucket is good and the foul. Calvin Smith gets the basket, and the foul is on Nelson.
Number 4, Andrew Nelson is his second.
And that is Nelson's second. We thought the first foul of the game was on Nelson, so we'll have to get that resolved when we get a moment. So Smith with a chance to complete the conventional three-point play and give Hahnville its first lead of the night. He gets it. 5-4 Tigers as we close 5-minute mark, quarter number 1.
You think Country Day would be looking to get him a rest at least at the end of this, for the rest of this quarter, with 2 fouls already.
It's a little fake handoff out there on the perimeter, and then Dyson drives towards the basket and dishes it off to Brewer, who got the easy look.
They're doing a really good pass of seeing the floor, a really good job of seeing the floor, making that extra pass inside and getting some easy buckets in the paint. Long three-pointer there.
Another offensive rebound. Hahnville doing a great job on the glass. The other end is so 4 in a row by the Cajuns, and they've taken a 3-point lead, 8-5. Moore gets his shot blocked by Dyson, and here come the Cajuns. Great pass down. Timeout, Hahnville.
In the open man, whether it's on trans in the half-court offense. Inside when they want to pretty easily here and make the baskets in the paint.
That's timeout. It gives you a chance for us to remind you that high school basketball is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Services all models, oil changes, all doing some popcorn.
Country Day doing a good job guarding the perimeter.
And then closing in when it does happen to get inside like there were a number of white jerseys in there to collapse in on Jordan Moore. Couldn't get the layup to fall, and here come the Cajuns the other way. They've scored 6 in a row. That's taken away. Great play defensively as Dyson was headed towards the basket.
Just
now Hahnville in transition, I should say. The transmission gets taken care of at Lamarck. That's right. And a nice job by Country Day to play some transition defense right there and turn it right back over. White keeping his dribble. Now towards the hole. Great pass. Another great pass. Rizzi. Country Day is making the extra pass, and they are getting some great looks at the basket. They have scored 8 straight and lead this one 12-5.
2 really good passes there leading to that basket. You know, you can see their defense. They're on a 3-point line, really guarding those wings.
Extending out what has a look of at times a 2-3, and it kind of morphs into a 3-2 at different times. Left or right baseline, shot is no good.
Good positioning by Dyson.
Yeah, Dyson with the rebound, and here come the Cajuns the other way. Again, they are on an 8-0 run. Nelson. Pass inside. Rizzi. Extra pass. Dyson. He's got 6. Country Day has scored the last 10 and lead it 14-5 as we tick under the 2-minute mark.
They're going to challenge the Pelicans for a number of assists tonight.
Right wing. Three-pointer is off the mark. And quickly to the basket. Offensive foul. Jordan Moore. And we'll get some subs here for Country Day. Get our first look at McAllister Caleo, along with Maddox Moss, who would normally be a starter, but he's been under the weather. Moss had 28 in their win over De La Salle.
Moss is a really good shooter, and Galejo made the all-tournament team at the All-State Sugar Bowl tournament earlier this year. Off the bench.
Football player. Three-pointer that time by Caleo won't go. And here comes Hahnville the other way. Harris. Inside Moore. Now kick it out right wing. Off the mark. Simmons, but Moore chases it down. To Hahnville's credit, they're doing a great job on the offensive glass to give themselves second chances. They just really haven't been able to capitalize.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing what they need to do defensively too. They're kicking it inside, kicking it back out.
Another missed 3, and this will be Country Day basketball with 56.6 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. We'll get a Hahnville sub. It'll be Lucas Bergbacher checking in, the 6'5 junior. Let's see if Country Day looks to take the air out of this maybe and play for one shot. Moving around the perimeter. Moss and Rizzi out top. Now Rizzi back out to the three-point line. Moss shook his shoulders but moved his feet as well. Turnover, Country Day. So Hahnville with a little under 30 seconds to play. And that's been able to get shots to fall. They've only made 1 bucket in the first quarter. The other 3 points have come from the line. Under 10. Got to go here with 5. Nice back cut, extra pass, went through the legs, and it'll go out of bounds to Hahnville with 0.5 left. So you do have time to catch and shoot here. Actually, are they going to give it to Country Day? Let's see.
No, they pointed to Hahnville. I think Hahnville.
Yeah, the Hahnville players thought you were starting to go the other way, like it was Country Day basketball. Three-pointer at the buzzer. It's the bottom of the net, but didn't go through the rim. And that will do it for 1 quarter of play here in Old Metairie with your score. Country Day 14 and Hahnville 5. Bill, impressions of what we saw in the first quarter. What is Country Day doing to build this early lead?
Country Day is just running their offense to perfection. They're penetrating and then kicking to an open man when Hahnville collapses on the ball handler. They're leaving a man underneath behind them wide open. So they're making the extra pass. They've been very, very unselfish in that first quarter. Hahnville's running good offense too. They just can't make a shot. Yeah. But they've gotten the ball. They're
getting point blank looks. Yes. Now in some cases they're defended. It's not wide open layups by any means.
No, it's not. But it's off of their offense. They're kicking the ball inside, and then the man in the middle hits the back out to the outside on the wing. They'll skip a pass over, work for an open shot or somewhat of an open shot. They just can't hit a shot. They made, like you said, they made 1 shot in that quarter, and they had some really good looks. Now, Country Day's defending. They're out on the perimeter. They're out on that three-point line, defending the perimeter and making them shoot out there. So it's going to be a long night for Hahnville unless they start making some shots.
It's White, Dyson, Callejo, Moss, and Brewer on the floor for Country Day. It's Jeremiah Jeffrey along with Amon Simmons, Jordan Moore, Elijah Harris, and Lucas Bergbacher for Hahnville looking to cut into a 9-point deficit as we start quarter number 2. Simmons. Harris. Send it back out top. They'll look to get something going here. From the top of the key, that will not go, or from the elbow, I should say. Simmons misses that one, and Hahnville's shooting drought continues. White gets it across, hands it off to Maddox Moss, who will operate the offense. Run a little weave action here, look to get it inside. White retains control, lets it fly from the right corner and good for 3. White had 15 against Scotlandville, all on 3-pointers.
That's no easy task.
That Scotlandville game was one I think Country Day feels like they let get away. It's one they've lost 5 of their last 7, but you look at the teams they lost to. Carr, Scotlandville, Vanderbilt Catholic, St. Thomas More, and Shaw. Deep 3 off the mark and controlled by Herman Dyson.
Harris has taken a couple of shots tonight pretty deep, and he hasn't come close yet.
Turnover Cajuns. Here comes Hahnville. That is going to be out of bounds. Last touch by the Cajuns as Moore tried to attack the basket. They've done a very good job of containing Jordan Moore, who came in averaging 21 a game. He's only got 2 free throws thus far. So Jamal Moore returns. This does Elijah Harris. Deep 3 in the corner, and that is good for Calvin Smith. Oh, check that. That's Eli Harris with his first 3 of the game. 3, not 5. Nice back cut to the basket and good for KD Brewer. Brewer, 23 points in Country Day's last game against Carr. He's got 4 thus far tonight.
Another example of Country Day looking for the open man and making that extra pass. Pays off again.
Shot will not fall right now for Jordan Moore. And foul is called. Brewer's going to go to the line.
Foul is called, number 3, Eli Harris.
Fouls on Harris, his first. And it will send Brewer to the line. Brewer's dad is Corey Brewer, played on Florida's great teams in the mid-2000s and is now on the Pelican staff
In the game,
under Willie Green. Rizzi returns, and Dyson will take a seat. Jeremiah Jeffrey returns for Hahnville. Second one will not go, and it's a 20-8 lead right now. As we hit the 5.5-minute mark of quarter number 2. Moore operates from the left wing. Now to Simmons inside. Jeffrey back out to Moore, trying to work through 2 defenders. 2 more were there to meet him, and he just couldn't get it through everybody. Great looking play in transition. Left corner 3 is good for Brennan White. It is 23-8. 2 threes here for White. And with the dead ball, after the net was caught up there, Andrew Nelson checks back in with the 2 fouls.
Now, as impressed as I was with Hahnville's offense in the first quarter, despite the score, their offense has gone stagnant right here. They're getting no movement in the post. They're hanging around on the wings.
Good look inside, and finally,
that's the first time that Moore has taken the ball and driven to the basket. He's been settling for fall-away shots.
Yeah, and he got himself in the right place that time. He was down deeper. Brennan White was fouled on the 3-point shot. They're going to get Jamal Moore with that foul. It's his first. And it'll be 3 shots coming for Brennan White. White's got a season high of 21 against the Willow School. Country Day White will knock these down as that one rolls off. Let's say. Chance to extend this lead all the way out to as much as 16. It could be 15 as James Rogers, a senior guard, will check in. Third one is good, so White makes 2 out of 3. He's got 8 points. And it's 25-10 Country Day as we tick under 4.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Inside, nice drive to the bucket for Jeremiah Jeffrey. And I think that's what, with this zone, that's one of the things that you want to try to do. You want to try and penetrate.
You penetrate the gaps.
You kick. Yeah. You kick when nothing's there.
That time, no one was there, so he kept going and he scored.
Good pass inside. Now back out. 3-pointer left wing won't go for Nelson, and here comes Hahnville the other way. Left baseline. Now back out top. Simmons looking to do something, but not much there. Gets it back again. Gets his own rebound. And he gets fouled. So he'll go to the line for 2. Fouls on Rizzi. And Simmons, the point guard of this team, and talking to Erica Randolph, she was a point guard when she played. She played at Dillard. And you got to have someone, a coach always looks to have someone, especially a former player becomes a coach, who's a lot like themselves. And that is Amon Simmons.
Back in the game, number 3, Dyson.
So Dyson checks back in. Nelson again playing with the 2 fouls. Get him in there for a couple of minutes, get him back out. Don't let him get that third. So now 25-14 this was a 15-point lead. It's been cut back to 11. You're coaching this situation. What are you thinking at this point in the last 3.5 minutes if you're behind? What do you set a goal in mind? I'm trying to get this down to X at halftime.
I'm trying to get this to 10 or less at the end of the quarter. Emphasize to your team that it is literally one possession at a time. There's no 10-point play, so you just got to take it possession by possession.
And good defense right there, forcing the bad shot by White. And here comes Hahnville in transition, but good defense by Country Day. The slap away by Rogers. And Coelho has the basketball. Dyson from 3 rims out. And Jeffrey controls for Hahnville. 3-pointer right baseline is down for Jamal Moore, and that is now 7 straight for Hahnville. It's down to an 8-point game with 2:50 to play here in the first half. Just like that, Moss and Brewer headed back to the scorer's table to check in for Country Day. And Hahnville's going to sit back, and Casey Rizzi is just going to sit there and dribble near the midcourt line.
Well, if I'm Hahnville, I'm okay. I don't usually like doing this offensively or defensively, but I can see what they're doing. They've made a nice run.
You catch your breath, too, a little bit. Things have gotten a little frenetic from the Country Day perspective.
Well,
slow things down.
You asked what would you do as a coach. You wanted it inside 10.
Right.
That's what I said. You got it inside 10, so you've accomplished your goal.
Country Day has held this for about a minute thus far. Deep 3 is down. Brennan White. I'm sure Mike McGuire was like, wait, what is that? Great shot. Yeah. White with 11, including 3 threes. Knocked away, recovered. Moore towards the basket. Can't get the layup to fall. This is going out of bounds. Last touch by Country Day, and it will stay with Hahnville. Now you'll get those subs in finally at the 1:36 mark. Moss returns along with Brewer. Rogers checks out along with Coelho.
I'm going to have to ask Coach McGuire if that last shot by White was drawn up the way he.
Yeah, you run a minute, and then
you take a
30-footer.
30-footer. Well,
but you know what?
You know what? Any shot you make is a good shot.
Oh, exactly. Look, in this Steph Curry era, I'll call it that.
Yeah,
those used to be bad shots,
right.
and now they're not. Now they all take them, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still cringing when I see guys drive to the goal and then sweep it out back to the opposite corner. But that's part of the game today. Yeah. That's
three-pointer won't go, and yeah, exactly. A foul over the back on Jordan Moore, and that's 2 on him. That's big when your leading scorer picks up a second foul here 80 seconds before halftime. Three-pointer down again. Brennan White is feeling it right now. He's got 14 points all here in the second quarter. On 4 threes and a couple of free throws. That goes for Jordan Moore. Inside, layup falls by Brewer, who has 7, and it's 33-19. So just when you think, if you're Hahnville, I've got this down to 8.
I got this manageable.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden, back-to-back threes.
I don't think you
and now a turnover in this end, although it's quickly recovered, and it's looked like it was knocked away, but it's going to go as a shooting foul, and I believe that's on Dyson.
That was called on number 3 from Dyson. That's his second.
It is his second foul, so there was the foul we were missing earlier.
Hahnville shooting 2.
So Dyson and Nelson are both with 2 fouls.
And it'll be Calvin Smith at the line, who has not scored here in the second quarter, had 3 in the first. He is 2 for 4 at the line.
In the game, number 4, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey will check back in here for the final 27 seconds, and that's a smart move there by Erica Randolph. She's going to give Jordan Moore a seat with those 2 fouls. Don't want him picking up a cheap third right before halftime. Second one rims out and is controlled by Country Day, who you would expect would play for one with a 33-20 lead. Down to 12 seconds as Moss dribbles.
You got to get it out of his hands.
Well, that's not the hands you wanted it in, and that goes. Brennan White is unconscious, and the best thing that could have happened to Hahnville is the halftime buzzer. White cannot miss right now. 17 points all in the second quarter, including some deep threes. 5 of them to be exact.
Some deep and some circus arena looking shots also.
He wasn't even getting his shoulder square on some of those.
I was going to say, sometimes he doesn't even look like he's looking at the goal. But hey, when you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
Yeah, so you see the halftime score. Country Day leading this one by the score of 36-20. High school basketball on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Rhino Shield Mid-South. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Rhino Shield resists chipping, cracking, flaking, or peeling, and is backed by a 25-year warranty. Get your free estimate. Visit rhinoshieldmidsouth.com or call 833-233-7181. It's 833-233-7181. Bill, I want to tell you, again, we mentioned we are now 13 days away from Bracket Monday in the LHSA. So let's take a look at the schedule of what is coming up as we're into February. The end of the regular season is a week from Saturday. The playoff pairings, again, come out on the 19th, and then you get into it. You've got the bi-district round, which will be completed by Friday, February 23rd. Then the regional round by Tuesday the 27th. The quarterfinal round has to be completed by Friday, March 1st. And you get to the state tournament. March Madness back at Burton Coliseum in Lake Charles, March 4th through 9th. And again, you got 10 brackets going, 5 on the select side, 5 on the non-select side. Similar to what we have in football now. You got, 2014 bracket on the select side, 28 on the non-select side. What did you think about the first year of what we saw of some of those changes in playoff basketball?
Well, it's certainly better than what it used to be when you've got more teams. I mean, even the staunchest opponent to bringing the whole association back together would say that it was certainly more competitive, and that's all people are asking for. So let's make this thing competitive for the kids and make it meaningful, make it worthwhile. And I think that's what you got, and that's what you're going to continue to give with the playoff structure, the way it is.
So, as we looked at it at the top, Hahnville sitting at 12, Country Day sitting at 8 right now, and obviously, you got. Teams highly ranked. When you're in this position right now, okay, obviously you take a league like the Catholic League, and let's put them in its own little bucket here, because a district championship in a Catholic League means everything to those schools. That is what you come up with in that league. But in this PowerPoint era, district championships have really been devalued. They're not that. They're not as important as what they used to be when you were when you were getting slotted in the bracket based on whether you were finishing first or second or whatever, a wild card, whatever the case may be. Now it's all based on PowerPoints. What is it that you're looking to do over the course of the last couple of weeks to get your team ready for the playoffs, and as well position yourself as best you can in terms of seeding?
It's funny you should ask that, because I was thinking that in my head driving over here this evening. What do these coaches want to work on? What they know, they're with these kids every day. They know, even though they both got fine records, 18-9, 15-11, and Country Day with the schedule that they play, those 11 losses are mostly insignificant. But what do you have to improve on? That's it. I used to always tell my kids, look, you want to play your best ball in February and March. So you got to get better every single day. So that's what you're working on, and that's why you schedule these kind of games. It's to get better, to play against better teams, against better people, against better opponents, and so you can get better. Whatever it is that you need to get better on, is it rebounding, is it ball handling, is it court awareness, whatever it might be, you got to work on your deficiencies here, and that's what a game like this is important, PowerPoint-wise, certainly, but it's also important to give you a chance to work this late in the season in a competitive environment and work on these things that your team is lacking a little bit in.
No question about that. Lonnie Van Gilder, Bill Gallagher here with you from Old Metairie. Country Day with a 36-20 lead at the half over Hahnville. I'm just trying to take a look at some of the power ratings from around the state and see just some of the teams maybe that we're looking at here that are going to be the contenders. We talked about, when we looked at Division I non-select there earlier, we saw Ponchatoula 2 weeks ago. When you've got a special player like Graves, obviously you like to have 2 or 3 of those kind of guys that can really put you over the top. But it certainly takes having some kind of go-to guy that you can have, to help carry your team, especially when you get into March.
You talking about Brennan White?
Or whoever it is, whatever team it is, whatever it is.
He's the go-to guy tonight.
No question about it.
But you're right. No, you're right. When you get to this point, you're leaning more and more on your go-to guy, and hopefully by this time, if you haven't figured out who it is by now, you're not going to. So, you know who your go-to guy is. When we had DJ Augustine, in a tight game, John Levy would call him over and say, DJ, go get the ball.
There you go.
And that was pretty much it. We would run practices where we would say, okay, run this part of the motion offense, run the screener until you get DJ on a refusal. And so we would run it so, and kids knew, or we would say, Ryan Brock, we want Ryan Brock to take this shot. Run the offense till Ryan Brock, till the offense puts him in this spot on the floor. So you can get that specific when you've got those guys or that guy. You can get kind of specific in what you want to do and putting that guy or those guys in certain spots on the floor.
Right. Yeah. Ponchatoula Slidell, actually, on the non-select side, they are the only New Orleans area teams that are sitting in the top 8 right now. Now, you look at the select side, it's obviously a much different story there. Jesuit currently 6th, Brother Martin 8th, St. Aug 10th, Carr 11th, in a tightly bunched Division I select that perhaps they could even creep up into the top 8. As you look at Division II select, you've got Carver sitting at 3rd, Vanderbilt Catholic is 4th, Shaw is 6th, Landry is 8th. Those two teams actually playing tonight on the West Bank, Shaw and Landry. So that's certainly intriguing there. Division III we talked about, of course, at the outset with Newman at 1, St. Thomas Aquinas at 4, St. Charles Catholic at 5, Country Day at 8. If the season ended today, they'd all be on the same side of the bracket, potentially meeting up in quarterfinal games. You could have, a Newman Country Day, and you could have a St. Thomas Aquinas, St. Charles Catholic quarterfinal if the seeds would hold in those areas.
That's good for the gate, but that's not necessarily what you want to do in the opening rounds of the playoffs.
No, of course not. You don't want to face the teams that you faced before and the teams from your area until you get to Lake Charles.
Right. Imagine what this place would be like if it was Newman and Country Day playing.
Oh, no question. No question. And then in Division IV, you got Crescent City at 1, you got St. Martin's at 2, and as you look at those teams, I think they're due to play actually here. It's I'm gonna check on that. Are they playing again? No, they're not playing again. They've already put that game was last Tuesday night. Crescent City won 55-39. You got Crescent City's got 3 left to go. They got an intriguing one right after Mardi Gras. They play at Bonneville. That's one of those. Yeah, Bonneville's. Bonneville had been like a top 4, top 8 kind of team for a few years. They're not that this year in terms of the power rankings, but still a team to contend with.
Well,
there.
In Crescent City, won a couple of state championships under Sean Dumas, and then really fell off the map when he left.
Right. And he started his own academy.
School, but he's now at McDonough 35.
Right.
Now.
And Jordan Moore was with Sean Dumas at his academy and then transferred to Hahnville.
Okay.
So
but Brandon Russ says he was there with Sean, and he now took over as the head coach, and he's got those guys back on top again. So, it runs in cycles.
No question about it. You got that, and we mentioned from St. Martin's perspective, they will be here on Friday to play Country Day, so that will be a game that will be significant for both schools.
Be a packed house too,
in terms of PowerPoint. So that's a rivalry game, no question about that. Yes. They may not be in the same. The same district or even the same division when it comes to playoffs, but that's
well, they have been in the past. They kind of go up and down.
Sure, depending
on enrollment at that particular year. But these the kids run in the same circles, same playgrounds, grow up together.
No question about it. There's a lot of that goes on. So we get set for the start of the second half. It will be Country Day basketball as we begin the third quarter. What kind of adjustments do you think got made at halftime on both ends?
I don't think there's much to do Country Day-wise. Just get back to playing what you were doing on defensively.
Shot is blocked. Dyson went up.
Call a foul.
And now we've got a foul.
Probably on Dyson, huh?
I believe so. Wait for the indication. That's on Dyson. That is 3.
Yes.
Yeah, it is 3.
Yes.
So Hahnville now moving to our right. Deep 3, top of the key, off the mark. As Harris let one fly.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's
3 feet beyond the arc.
I don't think that's the halftime adjustment they wanted.
No. Good defense this time, but it's picked up off the bounce, and now again a third opportunity inside, and that will fall for Dyson. Dyson hit 6 in the first quarter, didn't score in the second. That's his 8th point of the night, and it is now 38-20. 3 from the left side will not go for Jordan Moore. Got a couple to fall there in the first half, but hadn't done much since. Good ball movement. Right wing 3 off the mark for Brewer, and that will bounce out of bounds and belong to Hahnville.
Yeah, Coach Randolph can't be happy with the first 2 possessions. You got to get a better shot than that.
I really think, and you saw what happened when they started to make a run. It's got to start on the defensive end, and they've got to get into transition. If they've got to run out of a half-court set, Country Day's done a terrific job in the half-court of defending. Although that time they get inside, get a good look, and it just would not fall for Calvin Smith.
Well, they had better luck on the inside in their half-court offense in the first half if they got the ball inside. Got to guard him. He's going to shoot it.
He's out at the logo. Now driving, handing it off. Another great pass, that extra pass once again, and Dyson finishes. He gets to double figures, and Country Day has now doubled up Hahnville. It's 40-20. On the left baseline, shot will not go. That wasn't a bad look right there.
Not at all, not at all.
And in transition, the layup is good for Brewer.
I think Hahnville needs a quick timeout.
It's interesting to me that Coach Randolph is just letting him play right here and just trying to let him play through it. She did not blow through a bunch of timeouts there in the first half.
This is definitely getting out of hand as far as Hahnville's concerned.
Now we get a timeout.
Now we get it.
With 5:23 to play in the third quarter. Country Day has picked up right where it left off in the first half. They have scored the first 6 here in the third quarter to extend this lead all the way out to 22. Remember, Hahnville had gotten it back to 8. It was 25-17. So since then, Country Day has outscored them 17-3.
Country Day started the game working the ball inside and making those extra passes and getting shots in the paint, easy shots there. Then towards the end of the first half, it was the Brennan White show, shooting everything from the Patrick Court logo and the volleyball pole out there. Now they're back to the inside and making and driving.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing what Hahnville needs to do against that defense. They're now driving in the space and driving in the crack there and
look to make that extra pass. That's instead Hahnville is trying to drive it all the way to the basket. And again, that's
pretty basketball.
But I tell you what, it's great. That is
very good looking basketball.
That what we're seeing tonight from the team in white is a vintage Mike McGuire coach team.
Yes, it's what you would see from Jesuit and Brother Martin running anybody running motion offense. Princeton, that kind of offense.
No question about it. Quick 3 left wing will not go. There's the offensive rebound. Putback will not go. It's like there's just a lid on the basket for Hahnville. Some of the shot selection may not be quite what Erica Randolph wants, but even when there are good looks, things are just not going.
Well, the first shot, he was open, might not be what you wanted, but it wasn't a bad look. The second shot, I think he babied it instead of going up stronger with it.
And
I think
that's Hahnville basketball.
Yeah, the second shot, I think he shot it not to miss it instead of trying to make it.
So Hahnville still has not scored in the second half, and we're closing in on 3 minutes gone by.
Country Day doing a better job of closing the gaps, not letting them drive from the wings. They need to swing the ball to the other side.
Seeing passing, but we're not seeing the ball rotate from side to side right now. You're not making the defense move.
Right, you took the words out of my mouth. Not making a defense move. That's a nice little move.
And a foul. They're going to call a charge. I think Simmons thought he got hit on the head as he was driving to the basket. Instead, he took it inside and committed the charge, and that will be his first personal.
Simmons, his third.
So Hahnville picking up full court right now. And extending quite a bit.
They've got to. No question. They're in.
And really at this point, when it comes to that, you're almost playing in the Country Day's hands. Because if you spread the floor,
right, but
they're going to try.
You've got no choice.
Right, exactly. And that foul's on Calvin Smith.
Foul ball number 5, Calvin Smith. His first.
You got to hope that your quickness overcomes their ball handling ability.
At the line, Brewer misses the first.
Game number 5, McAllister Vallejo.
Brewer on the night, 9 points. Second free throw is good, so he is the third Country Day player in double figures. White has 17, Dyson has 10, Brewer has 10. They have combined for 37 of the 43 Country Day points this evening. Good shot at the elbow by Jordan Moore.
One of the better looking shots of the night for Hahnville. They need more of that to get back in this game. But you got to make it happen on this end too, on the defensive end.
Yeah. Listen, you get defensive stops, and then you get into transition. That is when Hahnville ran off 7 in a row and got a 15-point lead down to 8. That's what they did. Good play there defensively by Jamal Moore, but when he blocked the shot, it went out of bounds. And so Country Day will inbound from the baseline to our left with 3:32 to play here in the third quarter. Hahnville led just once in this game, back at 5-4. After that, Country Day scored the next 10 points. And other than that one little outburst of the second quarter, it's been all Cajuns. Another three for Brennan White.
He just flung that one up there. I'm giving him credit. I'm not, man.
He's almost outscored Hahnville by himself. He's got 20. Hahnville has 22.
You can tell he spends a lot of time in this gym.
3 right baseline goes for Moore. And he's got a dozen now. First player in double figures tonight for Hahnville. Country Day will break the press. Got an open look at the basket. 2-on-1. Great extra pass. Reverse layup. Goes down for Nelson. Back to a 23-point Country Day lead. Three-pointer from the right wing will not go. Nice hustle that time by Simmons, trying to run down his own rebound, but Calejo comes up with it anyway.
I mean,
Brewer trying to beat the backcourt pressure. They really are. They're picking up 94 feet right now. And like you said, they have to do it. They have to extend. They have to pick up in the
loose balls, loose rebounds. Things just aren't going their way. There you go. They get a steal there. Nice move, nice backhand.
Moore will dunk. Moore's got 7 1/4, 14 in the game. Here's another look.
Yeah, with authority there.
You get the run out. And look, I would imagine some of that's a little frustration after the shooting luck that Jordan Moore has had this evening.
I thought I'd see a little more trapping out of Hahnville on that one.
Nice pass inside as White found Brewer.
Nice no-look pass.
Brewer with a dozen. Back to a 23-point game. Penetration inside. Now the kick out. Good trap down on the baseline that time. You do that, it's almost like a triple team down there. Moore showing you a little more now in the third quarter of why he's a 21-point-a-game scorer. He's getting after it a little bit here. Going to the line for 2. Hits the first. He's 3 for 3 at the line tonight. Now has 15 points.
And now the other thing also Hahnville needs to do is score with the clock stopped. So they got to make those free throws down the stretch.
If you're going to give yourself a chance down the stretch here, no doubt about it. And the other thing with scoring in this situation, too, you make this free throw, now you've got a chance to set up your pressure as well. The Country Day breaks it. Moss wisely pulls up. Could have tried to drive. I think White was thinking about taking that. Instead, he's going to take it all the way to the hole and knock it down. That's a season-high 22 for Brennan White. And it's 52-29 Country Day.
That's his first two-pointer of the night.
And a 3 by Moore. But now his 19, he's got 12 in the quarter. In fact, he's got all 12 Hahnville points in the quarter. Under a minute. 3 from the top by Brewer. Will not go, but a nice hustle for the offensive rebound. And now Brewer will attack. Up and under. Won't go. Here comes Hahnville the other way. Simmons can't hang on. It's taken away. Moss in a run out. Brewer throws it down with one hand. Shot will not fall for Simmons. And Country Day will no doubt play for one here with 11 seconds to play. Hear the crowd counted down for you.
Give it to White.
Or just take it all the way to the basket if you're Maddox Moss. First 2 of the night. Let one fly from about 2/3 of the way back, and it will not go, and that will do it for quarter number 3. Another look at that last play, or the Brewer dunk.
Just as emphatic as Moore's was before, except you're up by 24 points.
Yeah. That wasn't frustration.
No.
That was exultation.
That was an exclamation point.
3 quarters in the books here in Old Metairie. Your score is now Country Day 56 and Hahnville 32.
Now, I'm beginning to think it might be me, Lenny. I don't think I've ever called a Country Day game where they've played poorly. They may not have won them all, but they've never played a poor game. I mean, tonight they're they're shooting on all cylinders tonight. Well, every part of their game is they're putting their will on Hahnville right now.
Well, we've seen some good ones through the years, haven't we? I mean, of course, we go back to a year ago, and you and Ken and then Timmy Bird were here for four
overtimes in the Country Day tournament. Right?
Yep, Country Day in St. Thomas More.
Correct.
A terrific game. But yeah, we certainly enjoy the hospitality here in Old Metairie. Head coach, athletic director Mike McGuire, always a pleasure to work with. As we watch from up high here on the upper level of Patrick Gymnasium, like the vantage point, you really see what's happening here. You see it unfold. Nice move to the basket, made the pass and then cut to the hole, and Jamal Moore draws the foul. He'll go to the line for 2. Herman Dyson picks up his 4th personal foul, and McAllister Caleo's headed to the table, I presume, to check in for Dyson at this point. So Moore knocked down a 3 early. Gets that one to fall for point number 4. And it is now 56 to 34, and we're going to get a timeout on the floor. Which gives us a chance to remind you that high school basketball in Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. The Lamarck Pre-Owned has a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all makes and models. Even have great deals for under $12,000. Must be a reason. My son is driving a Lamarck Pre-Owned and enjoys it.
So is my daughter. Popcorn is great.
Oh, and the popcorn is always good.
And I mentioned this the last broadcast that Kenny and I did. You know what Mark did for my daughter? And I'm sure they do it for all their customers. When her license plate came in, they delivered it to the house themselves. And wanted to know where the car was so they could put it on.
Well, we put it on. We went to the dealership and they put it on. They called to say, "Hey, it's here. Come get it." And did just that.
You must not have had the right sales.
I don't know. I'm sure there must be a reason for that.
There must be a reason.
No, but our thanks to Ronnie and Ronnie Jr. and Ray Hoffman and the entire Lamarck team for everything they do, supporting high school sports here at Crescent City Sports and really supporting sports in the community. Brewer will dump it off. The layup will fall for Callejo, who's on the board.
Again, Country Day looking
seven players have scored.
Looking to make the extra pass.
Always. Very unselfish basketball. Driving inside Simmons, he gets fouled on the shot and will go to the line for two. So again, like you said, Bill, you get so Callejo will get the foul, his first, but if you could score with the clock stopped, you're at least giving yourself a chance.
You're giving yourself a chance. You can't let this kind of an opportunity go by. You got to start. I mean, you haven't yet. You know, Country Day is just putting on a clinic, but you got to play better defense. You got to get some stops.
Splits a pair, and it's 58-35. Continue to do a great job just breaking this pressure. I think they had one turnover at one point, but it's been a very cleanly played game offensively for Country Day, especially dealing with this pressure defense. As soon as I say that, there's great hands that time by Jordan Moore, who will attack the rim, can't get it to fall. Second chance opportunity, but it's thrown away. Momentum was carrying him away from the basket. They were trying to reset, and Country Day got a hand in there. And a travel is called on Maddox Moss.
Dragged his foot, pivot foot. Moss didn't like the call.
Elijah Harris checking back in. He's been held to just 3 on the night. Lets that 3 fly, and it's in and out. Tried to get the second shot opportunity, but K.D. Brewer took it out of there. Quickly running the other way. There's that extra pass. Now they're going to kick it back out. Had a chance at the layup. Deep 3 left wing. It won't go for Nelson. All the way to the hole. Shot won't fall for Calvin Smith. That's kind of been the story all night. A deep 3 that time. Is that the first one Brennan White's missed?
It might be.
That was from the Patrick Court logo out there.
I think it's his second miss.
That falls and the foul as Simmons will go to the line.
Foul was called number 21, K.D. Brewer.
So K.D. Brewer gets his first foul, and Casey Rizzi will check back in. Brewer will take a rest with 5:57 to play. So Simmons at the line. Knocks it down, and it's 58-38.
It's pretty much been a 20-point game the entire second half.
Pretty much. I mean, you remember Country Day scored the first 6 of the third quarter. Stretch a 16-point lead to 22. Great move that time by Moss. Moss got in the middle there, made it look like he was going back out, and did a 180 and headed towards the basket. Knocked down an open layup. 60-38. Shot will not fall for Simmons, and it's one and done for the Tigers. Three-pointer on the left baseline won't go for Moss. And now Hahnville looks to run. Moore all the way to the hole. Two-hand jam. He's got 21. That's his season average. 14 of those in the second half. And look at what they're doing in the left corner right now. They are simply going to not let Brennan White touch the basketball. But Calejo in the other corner knocks down a three. White was stationed in the corner. Now this time it's Moss in the left corner for three, and he knocks it down. 6 in a row like that for the Cajuns on 2 threes. Mike McGuire is going to start emptying his bench. He's got Jack Davidson set to check in, first time tonight. That will not fall. And Brennan White's night is done, presumably along with Maddox Moss. White checks out with 22 points,
In the game, number 2.
including 6 three-pointers.
Basket by number 0.
Simmons knocks it down. He's got 8. So this will be a big win for Country Day. Hahnville came in with 18 wins. You're playing up 3 classifications, so you get those bonus points as well. Plus, you get the points for the win. This is the kind of game, as Jeffrey gets his second bucket tonight. This is the kind of game that can really help you make a jump in those power rankings.
Yeah, and then you pull for Hahnville the rest of the season.
No doubt. Timeout, Mike McGuire. Look, he's been down this road before. We mentioned the success he's had, the success this program has had along the way. You look at Country Day's history. You look at the history of high school basketball in the city of New Orleans, okay? Look at it right there on your screen. Most state titles, boys basketball in the city of New Orleans. That's a pretty good list to be a part of there. Newman, you know their great history over the years and coming back, resurgence a little bit under Randy Livingston. Jesuit, Country Day, St. Augustine, Brother Martin, De La Salle, St. Aloysius. Those are all tradition-filled programs.
I know a little bit about how hard it is to win one.
Yeah.
Much less 6, 7, 11.
That's a travel right there.
And I think the key word, and I say this on almost every broadcast so that people will just understand, it's the program. It's not this year and then we're bad. It's every single year they contend for a state championship. That's a program.
Simmons can't get it to fall. That will go out of bounds. Last hit the foot of a Country Day player, and Hahnville will inbound from the baseline with 3:09 to play. For Hahnville, it's going to be a quick turnaround. They've got to play Thursday night at H.L. Bourgeois for what amounts to a district championship game for them.
Right.
You win that game, and H.L. Bourgeois beat them by 1 point earlier this year. Deep three, in and out for Jack Davidson, who just came into the game, and
I think he's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, that would have the place would have erupted on that one. White can't get the 3 to fall, and Rogers controls.
I'd really like to know Hahnville's shooting percentage tonight.
The layup will not fall that time for Calejo, and Hahnville tries to run the other way. And that will go for Jordan Moore, and a whistle. A foul? Yeah, we do have a foul. So Moore, now with 23 points, will go to the line for one more. I think his night may be done after he presumably makes this free throw, and he's 4 for 4 at the line tonight. We're seeing some... So Trey Knight is in for the first time. Brewer returns as Rizzi checks out. So now the sub is not there. So it's he came in the game, so Moore will stay in the game, and he has 24 points. He had 7 in the first half, 17 in the second half. He's finally gotten on track. And Country Day will look to run some clock right here as we tick under 2 minutes to play. Nice pass to the baseline, and that shot will not fall for Manish Jain, the 6'2 junior center. Brewer controls after the missed 3 by Moore, and we head towards 90 seconds to play. This will be win number 17 on the season for Country Day. All the way to the hole. Brewer lays it in, but would not fall. It just rolled off.
I think he was in between another dunk and laying it in, and that's always a bad spot to be in. Nice little move under.
As the second chance opportunity falls for Hahnville. We don't have a 21 on our roster, so that is going to be a foul on Trey Knight. And one more sub coming in for Country Day, Alan Dietz. I think Mike McGuire's officially emptied his bench here in a 17-point game with 1:07 to play. And Jordan Moore will check out. He did what he could to carry his team this evening. It was a frustrating first half for him. Got things going in the second half.
Got off to a slow start, yeah. But he got moving, got rolling, but it was just a frustrating start for Hahnville as a team, and team-wise, they just never were able to get back into it.
And some confusion here at the table. I believe it's 5 team fouls on Country Day. But instead, it's an inbound situation. It may not have been a foul. So under a minute to play. And Kenneth Lorio will get to the line. Lorio, the senior. Can't get that one to fall. He'll have another. So you've got, we always hear about the 24-hour rule, Bill. I would think in a situation like this where you got to turn around and play such a massive game 48 hours from now, 24-hour rule may not even be in effect.
No,
it might be about a 24-second rule.
Right. I think it's get on the bus and that's it. It's over.
Dietz hits a 3. That is now 8 different Country Day players who have scored tonight. That won't go. For Caden Jones. And as we go under 30 seconds to play, Country Day may just look to dribble us out. They got to get it across. They do. And Country Day will go to 17-11 on the year. Hahnville will slip to 18-10, and this is a huge PowerPoint non-district win for Country Day here tonight, 69-50. Bill, final thoughts on what we saw this evening, a very impressive performance by the home team.
Very, very emphatic performance by Country Day. They left no doubt. They just didn't give Hahnville a chance the entire game. Hahnville, some tough luck shooting to start the game, but again, and we mentioned that it's because of the defense that Country Day was putting out there and defending so hard on the perimeter. And then Brennan White just took things into his own hands in the second quarter, and Hahnville really had no answer for him. And really had no answer the whole night. I mean, Country Day really, I don't know what Coach McGuire could be very upset about tonight's game.
No question.
But like you said, Hahnville now has to just get on the bus, and by the time they get back to the 310 bridge, they got to forget about this because they got a big rivalry game coming up.
Yeah,
day
huge
after
game.
tomorrow.
Huge game with HL Bourgeois, and then they've got Central Lafourche and Terrebonne to finish out the regular season. Again, Country Day Friday at home against St. Martin's, Monday at home against Slidell, another potentially big PowerPoint game for the Cajuns there. And then we mentioned a Monday Slidell, and then their district tournament after that. Bill, it's been a pleasure this evening. Some entertaining basketball, particularly by the home team here tonight, and really showing us that maybe they've got another run and trying to add to that state championship banner that hangs off to our right.
They play like they did tonight, and they're going to give a whole lot of trouble to a whole lot of teams. They really did a great job tonight.
Well, thank you for joining us here this evening, and stay with Crescent City Sports for live streaming all year long. Follow us here. We will have much more news about what is coming up next, perhaps some playoff action. We will let you know what is coming down the line. For Bill Gallagher and our entire production crew led by Chip and Matt Merritt, I'm Lenny Van Gilder saying so long from Old Metairie, where once again your final score tonight, Country Day 69, Hahnville 50. Until next time, so long everybody.